257-2453. You can call ACE any old time. Because we transported a lot of kids and we had to keep a schedule, had to pick up from the schools when they got off, had to send the vans to several schools. So if a child got left behind or if a child didn't come and they were at home and they wanted us to pick them up, I taught them the ACE song. But the vision was that a family would come to Nehemiah and that family's needs would be met, whatever those needs were.
The Academic Center for Excellence, known as ACE, is an after-school program for children in kindergarten through 5th grade. ACE carries out a philosophy based upon mutual love and respect.
It gives them a confidence and a surety about who they are. The ACE program ministers to children through Christ-centered affirmation of African American culture. So the ultimate goal was to respond to the way African American children were being treated in Madison. The thought that they couldn't learn or they wouldn't learn. It didn't make sense when we learned during the most difficult historical periods, the desire to learn during slavery, during Reconstruction, how the first things African Americans did was look for family members and then they educated themselves. So as a people, we've had this trajectory. Education is very important to our progress, personally and collectively.
So having gone through ACE as a child and now being a staff member for Nehemiah, it really gives a sense of pride and community because I would have never thought that I would have worked for Nehemiah. Because when I think of Nehemiah, I'm thinking of a group of Black people who are in a different league than myself.
Really?
Honestly, because it was so different. I was in that space as a child, so it was very different. But I feel blessed because now I have my children who are volunteering. We really had a lot of freedom that you did not have within a school district to just be yourself, socialize in the way that children required. School, you need to really sit. You need to listen. If you talk too much, you're problematic. And so at ACE, we had structure, but we were learning in so many different ways that I think that was so respected.
So we knew we were being successful when the first thing is that children started liking being in school and staying in school. 2, we also visited children in school, in their classrooms. The third thing was we started having schools that would send student teachers to us to learn. How do we treat African American children? How do we interact with them? What is it that they need? They always felt like the behavior was like the hugest thing. And it really wasn't about behavior. It was just about helping them learn healthy discipline.
I will never forget when I think of ACE, the first thing I think about is those apples in that salad and how I would be still sitting at that table because you need to try your vegetables.
They didn't have to eat it all, but they had to taste it.
That's, what keeps playing in my mind. But now I hear myself telling my children, eat those vegetables, the same thing.
We were designed to come alongside children in the school system, but we could be wildly creative, we could be very imaginative, we could use our genius. It didn't matter if they were in a predominantly white atmosphere, it didn't matter about the poverty of their background, it didn't matter, none of these things mattered because children are born with an innate ability to learn. We actually worked with the entire child. That meant the spiritual, the physical, the emotional, all aspects, the intellectual.
I can't really think of any other place that cared about you in the sense of ACE. Like you had good teachers, you had people that you liked within the school, but ACE gave you that oomph that you needed, and just something as simple as like a girls group and we sitting down and we talking about different things.
Our staff was primarily African American. That in itself was something new and innovative for the children because many times they could go through the school, district from kindergarten to 12th grade and never see another African American person in a responsible role as a teacher or principal.
I remember going to Sister Fabu's house and we had like this girl sleepover, and I'm like, now as an adult, I'm like, I don't know why she did that with all of us girls, but we talked about puberty, we talked about just everything. No one was getting yelled at. We probably should have been, but it was just always like comforting. You could be curious, you could touch things, just a sense of really being free.
But also I wanted you to know, I think by inviting you to my home, how much you were loved and how much you were valued. And I remember we painted nails and it was just a riotous time, really it was. I wanted you to know the world was big, bigger than any of us thought.
You just hold on to those memories and like building friendships. There's still people that I know, you know, from when I was in ACE to now being in my 30s. And so it's just really crazy that a program just meant so much. And at that time, I didn't know that I needed that, but it was awesome what ACE represented.
So what I need you to know is everything we did, we really did because we loved you all so much. And we just felt like you had the potential to do anything and everything. So we're so proud of who you've become as an adult.
Yes.
And that you are working for Nehemiah. That feels like really wonderful.
I'm in awe that like 30 years later, ACE still has the same values, the same mission to support Black students and families, really.
So what makes me so happy is when you see the seeds you planted grow and the fact that Nehemiah continues to do good in our community. That means everything, because that was the ultimate vision. How can we help our community?
I feel like they my family. That's what it feels like to me.